Welcome to the Pastors Podcast, Season 9, which means, and Kalley, I'm assuming you have listened to all of them.
Every single one.
Every single one. You're glued to your phone, listening to your headphones.
Yep.
Great to have you with us. This is a podcast for pastors. We said this before, by pastors.
Yep.
Talking all things church and pastoral life. Really, Kalley, I don't know if you know the history of Pastors Podcast. Have you been on Pastors Podcast?
First time. Inaugural.
I feel like I should say congratulations because this is a pretty big moment.
Thank you.
This is a pretty big
if
deal.
I wasn't in front of this microphone, I would take a bow.
Yes.
I do a little curtsy and then
This
bow.
is amazing. Well, welcome to
Thank
this monumental moment in your life.
Huge.
The podcast is really, I just am such a firm believer in the local church. Anybody that's building a local church, pastors, church leaders, anybody in the trenches, because I believe that revival comes through the local church. We're going to impact cities, communities, nations through the local church. So we decided to put on a podcast, just come alongside pastors. Hopefully, at the end, they'll feel more connected, more encouraged, more equipped.
Yes.
And so that's what we do it for. So thanks for joining us. As well, we have a pastors conference that we do. We'd love to have you be a part of it. This is for pastors, church leaders, and their teams. We do one every year in January here in the Sacramento region, and then we do one every May in the UK, in London, and so we'd love to have you be a part of that. You've been out to London? You've been out to the UK?
Not recently.
You seem like a European. You seem like somebody who would love the
Thank
European,
you.
the kind of like
I do.
the architecture and the history and the
food.
cafes and the food.
I kind
and
of
the
always
little
zero in
cobblestone
on
streets.
the food situation.
Yes.
That's kind of my go-to. And then, yes, architecture, but mainly... What's the food
The
offering?
vibe.
It's the vibe. It's the vibe.
When I say architecture, it's more the vibe.
Yeah, but architecture too. I do. I nerd out.
What favorite country you've ever been to outside of the good old USA?
That's really hard. I'm going to make the other ones feel bad. Banning, I don't want to make every other country in the world feel bad.
Yeah, so...
Because they're hanging on to whatever I say. I know the
there's a few
nations
people,
of the world.
There's a few people that are like, depending on how you answer, are about to quit this podcast.
Please don't quit the podcast on my behalf. Hey, the nations of the world, I love all of you equal because the Lord doesn't choose favorites and neither do I.
Dear Lord. Nope, you got to choose your favorite nation. Well, your favorite nation, first of all, is America. I'm just going to tell you that.
Okay.
Yes, I'm just going to give it. You have to. You're an American, and just.
Well, it seems like that's settled then.
No. So your favorite nation outside of America?
Oh. Do you want to tell me that one too?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, I'll do it.
I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
You know what? I was in Australia.
Yes.
The beginning of the year, and that was pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
A few
Very
places
sunny,
like the Gold
very
Coast.
I know,
and,
it's amazing.
All right, we'll give you that.
Thank you.
Randomly, if you're listening in Australia, Australians do waterfront better than anybody I've ever seen. Like literally, if there's a river, if there's a lake, if there's a pond, if there's an ocean, they somehow figure out how to wrap this amazing experience around that body of water.
Yes.
It's just
quite. Now, do you the Vegemite situation, pro?
Oh, anti,
before,
just
anti.
disgusting. Horrible.
Yeah.
I don't even know why people would like it.
Salt sauce.
But it's salt sauce. Yeah. I would say this. It sounds like in Australia and even in England, you either love it or hate it. They
That makes
also
sense
say
to
it's
me.
how you do it. They're like, it's got to be a real thin layer.
But is it really?
I know. It's not like peanut butter, right? I'm like, I don't need a thin layer, man. I just want a scoop of it all, just like a popsicle.
Any which
but
way.
But not Vegemite that way.
It's a little like black licorice. I love black licorice, but that's a love or hate situation.
Totally.
That's our Vegemite, maybe.
I'm a fan of black licorice. 100%.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Big fan of black licorice.
Okay.
All right,
we've settled
listen.
that.
We've settled that. Well, that's all we need. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully you were encouraged and
God
equipped.
bless the pastors and all the nations of the world.
Tell me, so Kalley, give a little bit of a history of who you are and what you're doing on this podcast.
I was born in Minnesota, February 7th, 1980. No.
This is Goonies. You ever watch Goonies? You got to be old enough to watch Goonies.
You know what my experience with Goonies has been recently is that, like, you know how you watch movies from your upbringing, you're like, oh, that was so funny, so nostalgic, so glowing,
Yes.
and then you watch it back and you're like with your kids or with something, and you're
Oh,
like,
is it
whoa.
appropriate?
Well, yeah, they just all kind of turn out different than you remembered. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Goonies
time
was
has
like,
a way.
but when you started back and he had his hand in that blender,
I mean,
he's
it's
like,
funny.
Well, tell us everything. I was born in. That's you right
Yeah, can
there,
we get a blender out here? I might
Yeah.
I might
That's how it is.
share different things if
So
we
you
have
were
one.
born, what year were you born?
Asking how old I am.
Well,
I'm
didn't you just say it?
1986. Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
But 1986.
I got in trouble the
Almost
other day by saying my wife's name from the pulpit.
Your
my
wife's
name? I said her name. My wife's age was her birthday, and she could care less, right?
Yeah.
She does not care at all if people know her age. Also, I'm like, sweetie, you have a 26-year-old. I'm pretty sure people can just count backwards and do some math to kind of guesstimate. But she said so many women came up to her. We have 3 services. So for 2 services, I said, hey, let's wish my wife a happy birthday. And I mentioned her age or whatever else. And so many women came up and were like, I am so sorry that your husband put you on blast and said you're not supposed to say that. And so finally she came up and said, listen, like, can you just stop saying my age? Because now I'm starting to actually feel like, hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I wanted a happy birthday, and apparently it's a sad one.
So are you in the don't tell age, although you just did?
I don't know that I care a ton.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Kids. Life is speeding on by. So
You're coming up on a big birthday, though.
I am. 21.
Yeah. Do you feel anxious about that birthday? Not anxious, apprehensive. What was the word I'm looking for?
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe ask me on February 8th, and then I could tell you. But I love turning 30. I'll say that. 30 felt like, like in my 20s, I was just trying to be everything. Yeah. And then I got too tired and old to care. And I was like, this is what you get. Yeah. So I'm kind of interested to see what other things I drop caring about.
It's a phenomenal decade.
Okay, good.
Seriously, you're going to love it. How long have you been married?
Almost 16 years. Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So listen, you were born in wherever you said, but okay, that's fine. But what are you doing right now?
Well, I'm a wife and a mom, and we're on the East Coast doing some writing, speaking, worship leading, involvement with church, kind of dabble. I like houseplants, and your fiddle leaf fig, I do want to say, is flourishing.
Oh, thank you.
Thriving.
Very proud of that.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's fantastic. You're writing a book right now? Is that published?
Kind of. What? Now it is.
Yeah. Well, listen, this is a hard, you better show up to this podcast ready to answer some questions. This is a hard-hitting,
bring out the blender,
investigative, journalistic podcast.
You heard it here first. This isn't.
Now, to be fair,
exclusive.
Everybody's probably always currently writing a book, right? It's this
apparently,
yes.
That's it is a thing.
Is this something you're in the beginning stages with, or are you pretty far down the road?
But if we're a living letter, Banning, I don't know how to answer this. I don't really know. I've never done it, so I don't know what goes into a book. I have some thoughts that have come out of my brain through my hands into a document. So I probably have a lot.
Well, listen, we're friends.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan. And so I'm not just saying this. I think what's coming out of you absolutely needs to be written down and shared with the church. I think it'll be such a huge resource and blessing. Thank you. So you're writing, songwriting, leading worship, involved in church, doing all that type of stuff.
Houseplants. Yeah.
And houseplants, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Let me ask this real quick. I want to jump in. I actually have a few questions for you as we jump into this thing. John Wilds was on the podcast, and I actually don't know if this will have come out before his or not, but he's in this season.
Yeah.
And I asked him around creative. So as a pastor who I have creative in me, but it's not like, it's more in like innovation and creating ideas and things like that. It's less around what I would say would probably be in that artistic creativity.
Okay.
So leading creatives is such a fascinating kind of journey.
Yeah.
Especially in the local church. And so John and I were talking about this issue of like, sometimes creatives, they just need to create and they just want to create. But when it comes to like church stuff and worship, not everything you create is going to be used. Not everything you create, this sounds harsh, is good.
Yeah. Oh.
God loves it as a gift to him, as your dad.
He puts it on that refrigerator, front and center.
It's that type of thing. But how do you walk with creatives who also, when they create, I'm talking about songwriting, it's probably mainly songwriters and worshipers, I imagine, in the church world. And you're not trying to crush them. You're not trying to kill them. Yeah. But you're also having to be honest with them.
Yeah.
Not everything that they're... But then also, sometimes I'm afraid we're just creating to create.
Yeah.
And maybe that is, I don't feel that need. So maybe that is just an outlet that they need to do. Like, you need to create because that's how God created you. But that doesn't necessarily, so I'm asking a very generic, random, what I've kind of experienced, and how do you walk with that without killing them, but also putting structure around it, and also understanding some of that stuff's for you, not for the world. How have you navigated that as that creative, as walking with creatives? You were on staff at Bethel, you're on staff at different churches, you're working with churches right now. What would be the advice to pastors around that?
That's a great question. I think, well, I mean, there's so much. I think if it's caring for the heart of a creative, that's one thing. If it's kind of forcing things into like, okay, but we really want a church like label or a church project, then it's almost like, well, let's have that be another conversation. Like tend first to the hearts of your people. When they kind of get blended, I think that can be a little bit confusing, because then what could just be pure expression becomes about export before it has a chance to find its own voice and just kind of live and breathe. I do think like in the creative process, the releasing of what you do is like rounding the whole process out. It actually is really important to the process of creating. I think sometimes the issue though is that we think it has to hit some kind of number or scalability. It has to go viral. It has to be this global, whatever, for something to be significant. And I think we're really doing a disservice to our churches, to our local sound, to our creatives, and to our worship expression before the Lord for everything to have to hit those marks in order for it to be expressed, So I'm like, even to creatives out there, you can write a song, but it doesn't, like, for it to come to full fruition, what does that mean to you? Does it have to hit the top of a chart? Does it have to go, do you have to put it on your social media for that to be fulfilled? I don't know. I think my heart for people is like, can that first be heard by the ears of the Lord? Can that first be, if this is about him, if this is an offering that we're bringing, and whether or not it's worship, quote unquote, in the expression, if what we do is for the Lord, it comes from the overflow of who we are as creatives, and all of it is an offering before him, can I be contented in bringing that and releasing it at his feet first? Can that actually round out a creative process for me? And if that's not enough, I think we must start there. You know what I'm saying? If this is meant to be an offering before the Lord, if that's not enough for me, then our conversation gets to begin there. I do think then
Great
having
word.
these,
It's a great word.
well, because otherwise it's going to become about what it does. It's going to become about something other than moving the heart of God, which at that point, what is the point?
How do you keep it very hard to stay in the lane that this is a gift I give to the Lord in such a public world we live in?
Absolutely.
So I feel this all the time with, like, in my world, preachers or pastors in their prayer time. I'm like, dude, that's called a secret place for a reason.
Absolutely.
I don't need to post everything about my wife and I, so we live in such a public world.
Yes.
How do you stay in that place where, like, there are some things that this is just a gift I'm giving to the Lord?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think we all have to grapple with that question. I think that really is a very pertinent, relevant question that we need to answer before the Lord. And if we're not wrestling with it, I'm kind of like, even things like, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say this, but even like, do we live stream? Do we all that? This idea of visibility with what we do, I think there needs to be a wrestle. There ought to be one.
A soberness, at least.
Absolutely.
So a soberness around what we're doing with.
And a willingness. Like, if you ask me to lay down and sacrifice this, like, I don't know, I think there's a lost art of secret things with God. Like, I remember going, I was on tour, and it was one of my first tours, so, like, obviously I want to be so impressive and, do such a great job and all this stuff. And I remember I'm, like, nervous. I have my songs, I'm preparing. We're going on this South Africa tour, and we get there, and the first night we're staying, and you can literally hear, like, lions in like, the background, like, roaring. So, like, already there's jet lag situation, and then imagine waking up to your bones rattling to the sound of a lion roaring.
I gotta be honest with you, that sounds amazing.
It wasn't so amazing for me. You're a more brave person than I am. It was intense, but so I'm up, and all of a sudden I can just feel the presence of God in the room.
Wow.
And he began to just share his heart for South Africa. I mean, It was just this download of
amazing.
Like his affection, his love, his joy, all this stuff. And I'm sitting here and I'm like overwhelmed. And I'm like, wait, can you slow down? And without realizing it, what am I doing? I'm trying to create like choruses. I'm trying to, because why? I want to release it. I want to give that. I'm hearing the heart of God. Obviously, I want to translate that.
Okay, that's amazing.
And give it away.
That's I love this. Keep going. But that's the thing that automatically is popping up.
That's what's automatically, and there's nothing intrinsically wrong. But again, if there's not a wrestle, then we have to pause. So I have all this going. I'm like, hey, God, this is awesome. Can you slow down a little for me? Because I'm just trying to, get this set to something good. Something good. Because again, I think I did have a little bit of like, well, this will do it. Everyone, wait till I come and blaze
this will move the crowd.
Exactly.
The Lord spoke to me. Totally.
Look how powerful she is.
Yes.
She hears from God, all this stuff. And the Lord pauses. And I'm like, thank you so much. Now I can, really think here and get something good. And he goes, oh, I just wanted someone to share my heart. Incredible. I just wanted someone to sit and listen.
Dude,
and
that's so
be
powerful.
with me in this moment.
Yes.
And I could almost feel this and it grieved me.
Yes.
But what an opportunity to be like, his kindness to say, you took and assumed it had to look like this. There's nothing wrong or bad with it until we stop and ask him, is that the intention? Is all I am a product of export? Or do you want someone to tarry with you, commune with you in the dark of the night and carry secrets with you? I think there's a direct proportion for what we're trusted with in public with what we can keep in secret before the Lord. And so I think like...
Kalley, that's so good.
Oh, it's brutal though, because it's like the second you put things out... I'm putting out music again, which I'm like, oh man, all sorts of feelings about that. But truly, because I feel like the Lord's invited me into it. And I'm in this again, Banning, where I'm like, man, I would have loved to say I've graduated from it and I'm all good and all that. But this litmus test of like, is it enough to me if it moves the heart of God? And it's out there and it's like unastounding to everybody else, or it doesn't do what other things I've done before. And the Lord's saying like, I still want to know that my ears matter more. My 2 ears, however that works, matter more than the multitudes. I want to know that if heaven leans in and is listening, that's enough for you. I want to know that you can be contented with my voice and my affirmation of you, even if everyone else falls silent.
It's incredible.
So I think
it's the key to contentment.
It's the key to contentment. And I think before we can pastor anyone else to do that, it's the question of I think we all have to answer to God within ourselves. Like, is my loaves and fishes, that's all I'm responsible for. I don't feed the multitudes. If he chooses to go and multiply, that's great. But can I bring my feeble offering? And can that actually be enough? And if he chooses to not multiply, can I still be fed off the smile on his face?
I remember being so challenged by Bill, just the way that Bill Johnson up in Bethel lived and led. I want to influence, I want significance, winning and losing. And Bill's stance on, I don't care who's in the room. He legitimately does not care how many people are there. If God shows up, it's the only thing that matters to him. And I think, I absolutely care how many people show up in this room.
Yeah. Yes.
And is just him coming enough for me?
Yes.
Am I actually content? I'm not talking about content in a neutral way. I'm talking about content like I am satisfied.
Full. Yes.
Full. I am full
yes.
by the thought that God showed up, and it doesn't matter how many people are in the room.
Because I think he wants us free. And if I'm sitting here at the mercy of everybody else's opinion.
That's it. It's a freedom issue.
It's a free, and that he wants me to not be attached to, tied to other people's consumption, their opinion, their evaluation, that I could find that it is enough contained in his voice. And if it's not, that there's more of him that I get to have. And he's so dedicated to us getting all of him that we want.
Yes.
Increasing that appetite. And so I feel like this is something that I round back into over and over. And I think about the generation coming up where their whole lives have been visible. They don't know a difference. You think about people born into the era of American Idol. And it's like, if I could just hit the awards, if I could just hit the whatever, and I'll do it for God. But the question is, did God ask you to do that? Or was it enough to bring your voice before him in the quiet place and to be loved on there? Does this have to involve the masses?
Well, now every time you make a good point, I'm just going to ask you if that's going in the book. This is now just going to be the regular thing. Like, is that any?
Are we writing the book together,
Is that
Banning?
is that any topic that gets covered in your book?
I mean, it burns in me. I feel like probably
There's a
inevitably.
weightiness. This is something that I think preachers have to. There's sometimes when you own something at a deeper level,
Yeah.
there's just a weightiness on it.
Yeah.
Such a good thing.
Thanks,
Let me
Banning.
ask this. I asked John this as well. I actually love getting creatives that I'm friends with too,
Yeah.
as far as like to say, give me your real opinion on this. As I lead, I say creatives, but I'm that. Are Enneagram at all, or is that a cult?
Oh, it's not a cult. I'm just like the worst type.
What? Do you know what you are?
I'm kidding. I'm like nobody. I know what I am.
What?
I am like your like
Oh my
classic
gosh.
4-3.
There we go.
Where I'm like, am I significant and important
See, I'm
understood?
3-4. This is why we're
Okay,
such
here
good
we go.
friends.
Yeah.
Here it is.
See, that's why I like you. You're like me, Banning.
That's why we're friends. But I asked John this because what I'm interested in, as like, so we want to be able to empower when I say creatives, I am talking about these worship leaders
Yeah.
and the musicians and the artists and the producers and like these people in our environment. They strengthen, they bring. There really is an ability to bring us into a connection with the Lord in the most beautiful of ways and display beauty and all this stuff. But if you were to take just a creative and put them in the world, they're creating something and inviting you to come and experience it and see the beauty of it or whatever else. But the church is such a different place because ultimately we're all there just to serve people and help lead them. In that context, and I asked John about this, I think it's hard sometimes for creatives to lay aside who they are or to put aside their personality
Yeah.
in order to actually serve in that moment what people need.
Yeah.
And because I think there's something in them that goes like, this isn't true to who I am.
Yeah.
This isn't who I am.
How dare you ask me to not be
to not be me.
Yeah.
But it's a bad analogy because I can't think. For me, when I preach to middle schoolers, I'm coming in going, all right, I'm not going to preach like I would to adults because they don't need that. Like they need something else
Yeah.
from me.
Yeah.
And so although this isn't my favorite style, I'm going to do something for them.
Yeah.
How have you found that in your own life? Do you feel like you're put in a box if you're not able to truly be who you are? Or have you learned, I don't know, do you need to learn? Like, no, there are certain things we go, oh, no, that part of me I just lay down right now because that's not what's needed right now. Or that me expressing myself fully as an artist would at a display to invite people to isn't the, I'm asking I'm wrestling and processing through this because there are both creatives that are here, but also pastors, church leaders that are having to work with, walk with, lead in that area. Do you feel like if I can't be myself, I am being untrue?
I mean, I would tend to, I think I probably do lean on the you never have to wonder what I'm thinking. My face is going to, I have this like fierce dedication to authenticity.
There we go.
Because I'm like, I can't lie. I don't want to, and I think there actually is a purity to that. Of like, I'm not going to violate something.
It also helps lead people into a deep place with the Lord that
Right.
other people can't lead into that.
Yes. And
It's a gift.
Yes. I would say, I think like, I mean, anything, there's always complexity as knowing yourself. I think, because the flip side is there are people who get up and it's so generic. There's no sense of self that I'm like, that's never going to, that's
not going to move anybody.
That's not going to move anybody. And
or the heart
who
of
are
God.
you? Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think you got to know what your go-to is. Like if my comfort zone is like, this like, I have to express me because the world needs me, almost like self-indulgent. Like I know that one. I'm aware of that. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to press myself in another direction. Now I do think that the counterpoint is there of like, no, I'm gonna hide behind saying the right things, this token, like glossy, polished, whatever. I'm gonna read the script. I don't even know if I'm reading the script, whatever, but I'm gonna slide right on through and you're never gonna feel me. You're not gonna feel the risk of really showing up, skin in the game and owning. This is like the offering that the Lord asked for is like the trueness. And so I think it's like anything, like we have to first contain something before we can give it away. I have to first hold something before I can lay it down. So if I don't have a sense of self before the Lord, who he says I am, why he uniquely made me and what he likes about it, and I come under his lordship, under his opinion there and agree and say, yeah, when you said it was very good, I'm going to agree with you. That's like there are so many creatives locked up. And I would say not just singers, like communicators, our voice.
Yes.
Like there's not a line of defense here. Like that's so vulnerable to get up and speak week in, week out. And it's like really easy if I can just regurgitate or say the thing that I know is going to work, that everyone else is going to like. But the Lord is worthy of all the way down to the core. And so for me, what does it look like to actually discover what is that and agree with him when he said it's very good and stand in the trueness of that? And then for me, when I get up and lead worship, I always say leading worship is such an interesting thing. It's got to be two things always at one point. And I would say for modern worship, this is true as it is right now, right? Caveat. But it's like if all we're doing is leading a room, that's Christian karaoke. That's a concert. You know what I'm saying? If all I'm doing is aware of people and I'm singing to them, then that's what I'm doing. Now, if all I'm doing is finding the Lord, closing my eyes and just zeroing in, why did I leave my prayer closet?
Yes.
We have to be doing both at the same time. Moving the heart of God, ministering to him is of utmost importance. But what's his prize? His people. He loves people. It's the joy set before him was that he would have his people unto himself. And so I don't get to choose.
Do you shift how you lead in certain environments based upon, in other words, if my job is to help lead people into a place of his presence and encounter, and if I was just focused on, I'm just going to bring a gift to the Lord, I hope you guys are in the same spot I am.
Right.
To be able to go on this journey.
But that's not leading.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so I'm saying, where do you find that? How do you navigate that?
I mean, gosh, I feel like every single worship set, I'm like, God, help, help. Because that's what makes this so wonderful and so insane. Like there's nothing about this is cookie cutter because in any given moment.
There's no formula.
Right, God, what are you wanting to do in the room? Like, is this actually a moment where it's like, because there's times in worship where you can feel we've set the table and God, we're going to minister to your heart and that's the right thing to do. There's other times where it's like, he's like, I'm going after this thing and these people. And the way you minister to me is you partner with me because I'm bringing healing in the room.
Yeah, that's
or
great.
It's that partnership of God, what are you doing? And I'm submitted to it. I don't have a nice little formula where it's like 50% this and 50% or there. I have to hit my songs. It's God, this is yours. Worship is unto God. This service is for you and you love these people. What do you want to see happen here?
Do you do that with your set list? I know you do. That's a loaded question, but I'm saying, do you lean in like that when you're a set list or a set list like, this is what's been moving my heart recently, which isn't bad. But I'm saying, how are you also determining that?
I think, again, I feel like I'm talking like I'm an expert. I'm like, this is so wild because it changes. But I think as like having done it for a little bit, I think for me, I always come to the party with something in hand. So I'm going to always come with a worship set that feels like it's engaging a room. It's like bringing a declaration. It's looking to who the Lord is and what he's done so that we're not starting with me, or remembering. There's a sequence we're bringing people on. And I'm doing that. I'm mindful of building a set list on a very technical level. For me, what I've learned about myself is when I get in the room, that's really where I start to feel and sense like, okay, what's God doing?
Yeah.
And so for me, the set list, I come with the best set list that I can. It's the offering either way. Either we go through it beginning to end, or if I lay it down, that's the offering too, you know? And so I think it's got to just be this submitted. But I will say to the thing where it's like, man, I feel like I have a little... Because I know I've been there where you're like, oh, I want to be the one that introduces the new cool song. I want to be the one with the moment. I want to be the one with, and it's like, I get it. And I really do have to deal with that in my own heart. That, believe it or not, that is a thing with worship leaders where you want the big blazing awesome.
I've been around for a while. This is the first time.
Okay.
No, I'm saying this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Really?
No, I'm like, that's fact. I believe it. I don't think.
Yeah, who doesn't want the clip that goes up and everyone's like, look at how awesome they are.
Yeah, totally. That's amazing.
You want the big moment.
Yes.
You want the cool new song.
No, I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's what goes on.
The Lord addresses that in me all the time. Because that's like, what does that have to do with leading the room or ministering to the heart of God? Like, it's not that it doesn't, but that thing, and again, I get it, where it's like, I want the song that moves me. I get the sentiment behind it because you want something you're connected to. Here's what I'll say, though. I remember once somebody told me, and it's always, the circles I'm in are generally pretty open-handed, like choose your songs, all that. Somebody asked me, would you please do this song, years back. And I hated that song. Banning, I didn't want to do that song. I was bored. I'm like, no, everyone does this song. I had a
Was it
bad
a Jesus
attitude
Culture
about
song?
Of course not.
Okay,
Banning,
all right.
of course
Just want to
not.
make sure.
Never.
It's like it's put down the record for everybody out there.
Yeah, did you guys all hear that? It's a different. My hand is in a blender, by the way. I'm kidding. No. A different song, not Jesus Culture. Let the record show. And I just have a bad attitude about it. And I'm like, I don't want to do it, whatever. And the Lord said, I have 2 questions for you.
That's what I was asking about.
Yeah,
Keep going.
This is it. Lord goes, I have 2 questions for you. And I'm like, what? And he goes, first one, is it true about me? I'm like, sorry, what coming at? It's the song. Is it biblical? Is it true about me? And I'm like, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure is. And he goes, then move yourself to it. You move your soul to be impacted by it. I don't care if you like how it's. I don't care how it is with your range. If it's true about me, then you do the work, Kalley, where you go, and it's like actually having to be like, it's the bless the Lord, oh my soul, where it's my job to get, if it's true about God,
you will bless the Lord.
I need to move myself to connect it to it. How do you do that? You find the Bible verses and you recite it till you feel your soul catch. And you're like, oh, that is true. And then you recall, you walk down memory lane of that part of God, that nature and character, the aspect that song is doing. And I'm actually telling myself, be moved. Because it's true about him, come underneath the character and the nature of God until you are moved by it. Why? Because I'm designed to be moved by God. I move myself there. So he goes, that was the first thing. Is it true about me? Sir, yes, sir. And he goes, oh, I have one other thing. I was like, yes. What is it? And he goes, is my bride connecting to it? Is she moved by it?
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. As if one wasn't enough. He's like, the 1-2 punch. And what is that?
God, did you forget that this is about me?
Yeah, but hey, God, where's Kalley in the mix?
It doesn't move me.
But here's what's so crazy about that. The first one is the love the Lord your God with all your heart. This is a matter of him and I. The second one is his people.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, and that was such a good fatherly moment for me where
I
was
like, loving people.
This is loving people. And it's loving me. Is it true about me, firstly? And is it moving my bride? Then you find out how you're going to do this.
Boy, that is so fascinating because...
Oh, no, it hurt. It wasn't fascinating, Banning.
Well,
it assaulted all my
He didn't
pride.
talk to me about it, so it's fascinating. He didn't rebuke me over that.
That's right. That's right.
What's fascinating about it is that question of, is it moving my bride right now? Because sometimes I would say that I think that worship leaders sometimes are a little bit not wanting to do super popular songs. Or everybody's singing those songs. Or we sang that song a ton already. Like I find that worship leaders are in worship so much, and I have to go, guys, people come to church every other week.
Yeah.
They've heard that song once in the last 4 months. You've heard it a lot, but they haven't heard it a lot.
Yeah.
But we're opposed to kind of like everybody's singing that song, so I don't want to sing that song.
Yeah.
But the thought, well, everybody sing that song because it's really moving. That's fat. I love that kind of concept of how you, as a worship leader, is it true about me? Is my bride connecting to it?
Oh, man, it got me
Then get over
good.
yourself.
That's exactly what it was.
Then get over yourself and go lead my people.
That's it. That's it. But the reality is, though, it's like not just like suck it up and go like, okay,
yeah.
sing it, but
Connect
like
to it.
Connect
Yes.
to, and that's
Be
the
authentic.
authenticity. That's
So
what
you
I'm
stay
saying.
authentic.
We never leave the authenticity. We move ourselves to our most true authentic self, which is what the design of God.
You're not getting your feet dragged. You're not getting forced into it. You actually choose like, I can connect to this.
Like wholeheartedly, we're deciding to do
I
this.
actually think, and there's a whole sermon I preach around worship's not about you, and that we've fallen into this thing in church where we're like, how was worship? And when we describe worship, it's about my experience.
Yeah.
I love those songs. I love that worship leader. And that thought that, well, worship's not about you. So the question is I don't like this song.
Okay.
Well, I'm like, this song doesn't move me. I'm like, well, this song wasn't written about you.
Right.
Song's not for you. The song, we think songs have been written to move me.
Yeah.
All right, let me shift a little bit. We both have a great friend, a mutual great friend, Gabe Valenzuela.
Oh, Gabe.
Who is a pastor in Bethel. Gabe's been a real instrumental leader and encouragement in your voice.
Yeah.
What did Gabe do well in your life for you to flourish under his leadership?
Yeah.
Again, I'm trying to, help pastors
Yes.
and leaders figure out how do I lead the people that maybe I don't fully get.
Yep.
I don't fully understand. You're more emotional than I am. You're feels more fragile sometimes. You're whatever else,
Loose cannon.
Yeah, loose cannon.
Yeah.
You don't like boxes.
Yeah.
One, how do we do that? One, to get those people to be able to follow a leader, but also a leader to be able to lead them. But Gabe's somebody that you thrived under.
Oh, my goodness.
In the most beautiful of ways. Why? When you look back on that season, why was that?
Oh, it made me cry. Gabe changed my life. There's so many things. I got to learn with him that I mattered more. My soul, who I was, mattered more than my gifting and what I could do or create for him. And we all want that, but when rubber hits the road, the tough decisions of actually parenting and not just appeasing. Not like I have to keep you happy because you're doing X, Y, and Z for me. Not, I feel like he really went out of his way to learn who I am. And so I think sometimes even with creatives, we can have this assumption if somebody's on a platform or a microphone, they probably deal with pride, right? Probably a big head. That's not and I'm not saying that's heroic or good. Like I have like the worst sense of like self-esteem if I'm not careful. I go the opposite direction. If he came in with this like template of like, oh, you're probably like X, Y, and Z, that would have crushed me. He actually went out of his way to learn me and make decisions that like actually cost him at moments. When you think about being a mother and a father, and I think this generation, like these worship leaders, worship teams, musicians, we need mothers and fathers. We don't need talent agents. We don't need label heads. We need mothers and fathers. And as a mother and father, what you know is to actually get in and love your kid is a massive inconvenience to your own life. Like coming in with any sort of like, hey, here's the parameters. My 2-year-old being like, you're gonna like, let's sit and this is what you're gonna eat. If I just give her, goldfish or pirate's booty, like my life is great. Do you know what I'm saying? Then she's happy. I get what I want. But I'm not going to grow a balanced, healthy kid if I'm doing that. So what? I'm dealing with the hands-on, like, oh, we got a tantrum on the horizon here. Why? Because I'm thinking about her 5-10 years in the future. And I'm thinking we need to grow you strong. And that's going to look like, this is where my afternoon's going because I'm gonna get involved with you. I think what Gabe did with me that was so extraordinary is he saw who I could be. He saw who I could be 5 years from then. He saw who I could be 10 years from then. Not talent, not even just like, oh, this is what you could do for the kingdom. But he saw a person, like a mom and a wife. He saw who I could be to my community. And he believed in me enough to not just feed me goldfish and the things that I want, but to actually get in my space, to grow me, to love me, to say tough things, to make decisions that were going to make his life harder because he believed in who I was going to become. And I would say to you, one of the most massive things about Gabe Valenzuela for me is that he didn't make me earn who I was going to be in 5 or 10 years. He just treated me that way. He didn't wait till I became that.
Yeah.
He started to treat me like her, and I grew into that. And so there's so many practical things.
How did he correct and challenge you?
Yeah. I think...
And I'm asking this because I think I say, what are things that we can learn as... I want to do it well as a leader. Other pastors that maybe are hitting a wall or frustrated or I don't know what to do with this or they keep running into the same issue. So everything you just said, and then throwing into the thing as a parent, there's also the how do I correct, how do I address, how do I challenge?
Yeah.
How did that come in a way that worked?
Yeah. I think first and foremost, again, he learned the kind of kid I am. So like if I treat all my kids with correction in the same way.
Coaching, I have the same coaching philosophy. You can't coach every kid the same. Yeah,
you will destroy.
Yeah, they're not all motivated with the same thing. They're
Absolutely.
all not. Yes.
And you could crush one spirit and never affect the other with the same thing, you know? And I think what Gabe knew about me is like I'm naturally very hard on myself. And so I live in this vortex of my own world of like this wasn't enough. If I were to hear that from a dad, it would crush me. And so Gabe, like, it was a lot of reassurance. Honestly, a lot of like, you're fine. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Because he knew the kind of kid I am is like, I'm breathing down my own throat, And so it's like, you're okay. You're okay. And then when he would speak up about like, hey, this thing, I'm like, oh man,
the grow up moments.
Yeah, the grow up moments. I'm really listening because I know that he's not out to just crush me. He built trust and rapport. I felt like with the teams and, the school of ministry underneath him, I learned that where it's like, if I come out of the gate right away with let's change this, let's fix it, blah, 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 you don't know that I love and believe in you past getting it right over and over and over again, then I'll never have your heart. I'll just have your performance. Like he learned Kalley, for her to unfold, like she needs to know I trust her. I'm going to give her some space. She's going to try and fail and she's going to watch that I don't turn my back on her. I'm going to love her all the same the next day, whether that's in a worship set or in life. I'm committed to her past her performance. For a lot of worship creatives, anyone in the spotlight, anyone who does kind of this like upfront thing, we can get so caught in the performance and the punishment and the whatever where you're so worried I'm going to lose everything if I misstep. Risk. Like the kind of risk to go off the map and find the Lord, these spontaneous moments, all of that, they're not going to happen if you're so nervous you're going to lose someone's love and affection for you. Do you know what I'm saying? Even for things that aren't bad or wrong. But if I'm living in this like performance grid, I'll never know you care and love me beyond what I do. And so for me, he learned me. He learned I needed heavy encouragement. I needed heavy trust, belief. And then he actually wouldn't coddle me. Like when he...
That's that's what I'm saying. He's done a brilliant job with that thing.
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't that's what I'm saying is sometimes it just is
not like an enabling.
No.
He's not an enabler.
When I'll quote him all the time because these one-liners he would say hurt so bad. Like, oh my gosh. But I knew
Would he call you a loser or something? Or?
No, but just this insane. I remember he hired me. He hired me as a staff in his school of ministry. I hope it's okay to share this. It changed my life though, because I was used to the coddling. I was used to like, oh, I don't want to enable whatever. Like, I don't want to hurt her feelings.
They're so afraid of hurting feelings.
That's it. And she's emotional and I don't want to whatever.
She's going to cry.
Right. And he knew that I was like that. He came, and I'm not joking. He goes, I'm going to hire you for this job. You're not ready. Do you know what that does? I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm not even sitting here like wondering if I'm ready. And he just told me to my face, you are not ready. And he goes, hey, I'm going to set you up with so-and-so and we're going to grow you. The gift that was to
That's
just love me
amazing.
enough to tell me honestly,
Yes.
hey, I'm giving you this and I'm telling you, I love you. I know you can do it. You're not ready right now. Time to grow. That honesty, why? Because it gave me something to go. Somebody believes in me enough to not lie to my face. I knew I wasn't ready. And I'm like, thank you for not like, no, you're okay. Pat on my head. Because I would sit insecure the whole year. He loved me enough to say, you're not ready. We're going to grow you. Ready, set, go. And then I knew I wasn't getting hired because I knew what I was doing. I was getting hired because he believed in me. And he thought I could grow.
There's this really incredible gift with worship leaders or other ones where they can tap into some depth of emotion that most of us don't know how to get to, and then lead us to this place of intimacy with the Lord, of connecting at some, like they just can tap into something that I'm like, that's amazing. And that just was such a gift for me because you just led me to some place that I don't know if I get to on my own. But it also then sometimes means, hey, I have something hard to say, and then you turn into a puddle and just cry. And so I'm like, I don't know if I want to come lead you or challenge you.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, have you had to go like, no, you can't just be the person that like, because you can get to that place of depth emotionally that so many people can't, and that is the superpower at some level. But then also in just normal, practical, like, hey, I've got some input for you, but boom, now you're a pile of ash.
Yeah.
And
Where
like,
did you go?
I'm like, I don't even know. I feel like I can't put any weight on you with feedback.
Yep.
So I would say it's not all on Gabe.
Yeah.
To have to figure out how to best lead you.
Right.
We also have to mature up. Are there areas that you're like, I just have to somehow fortify that, grow up there, edit that? Like, go deal with the Lord with that.
Yeah.
Not be offended by that. Right.
Yes.
That's such a general question, but
I mean, no, massive.
so it's not just like, Gabe, you've got to bring it a certain way unless I can't handle it.
No.
I can't handle it unless you bring it this perfect way for me.
No, that's not, because that's not how life works. And we'll be incredibly isolated to these like particular perfect weather systems for this to ever work.
That's it right there. That's
and
it.
it's like, so I think what was so beautiful with Gabe is that he learned those things, and there's times where he's like, okay, like for trust, for all that, like I'm creating that weather system, environment, you know, while growing me into like, there were times he full on would trigger some of those stuff and those things. And I'm like, now I got to go to the Lord with this, because this is a thing in me that needs to be solidified. This is a thing in me that needs to grow and be developed, that needs to, like, if I feel like I'm just tossed back and forth, there's an invitation to be established in the voice of God and not thrown about to and fro, right and left. Why? He created us to be strong in him. And so if there's something that's insecure that continues to crumble every single time I put weight on it, the Lord has an intended strength, whether that's healing or a developing, a growing in me. And actually the recognizing, like, that's not on Gabe. That's not on a leader. Like, I am growing up before the Lord. And that means there's some things in me, if they continue to crumble over and over, I'm asking the Lord, like, hey, is this some healing that we need to go through? Is this something where I actually need to be more solidified in your voice over me, so that I don't crumble at somebody else's less than glowing evaluation of me?
Yeah.
Like, I need to dig myself into the voice of the Lord over who Kalley is, so that I can be like, I can hear that, and it doesn't crumble me at my very core. Why?
Yeah.
Because I've come into contact with what my maker thinks about me. So there's been a lot of going back, recognizing this is being triggered, sent up, and it's not actually, I think it's as much leaders' jobs to like create that safety as it is to grow us. And there's times I know Gabe agitated me and he didn't fix it. He left. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there were...
That's the Gabe I know.
That's
like, the Gabe I know.
I'm like, there's so many times where he'd be sitting at his table. I'm gonna go walk in front of him, and I can just feel the crippled orphan on the inside of me. I'm like, I just need Gabe to look at me, smile, and like, you know, give me this thumbs up. And he doesn't even look up. I walk over, step out, he doesn't look up, whatever. That's a gift to my life. Why? Because totally. I'm realizing the insecurity of, I'm looking to one man to be something that he can never be. That belongs in the hands of God.
There's healthy needs and unhealthy needs. And
those got confirmed. I'm not saying, look, Gabe's, we had a lot of both of them happening, and it changed my life.
It's amazing. Well, thanks for sitting down with us. My wife, legitimately on Authentic You podcast, you've been one of her absolute favorite interviews. She was she hadn't fully sat down with you yet and had a conversation. She just came back and was like, it was amazing. So.
We laughed so hard. I think we talked about like how mortifying it is to try on swimsuits or something.
Yeah,
and it really is left an impression.
Yeah, that's the Authentic You message. That's the Authentic You podcast.
You don't
get
more Authentic You than that.
You know, I mean, are they going to talk about anything meaningful? We don't know, but they are going to talk about trying on bathing suits.
It's going to be fun and real and a little unsightly. And I love that. There's nothing else I want more.
All right, guys, listen, thanks for joining us. I want to say again, listen, come hang out with us every January. Bring your teams. We are going after strengthening churches, and you're going to get around people. There's something about Kalley. It's one of the things I love about you is there's something so refreshing and strengthening in my life when I get around people of like mind and like heart. And I think that's really what these conferences become. It's not just a family reunion. It's getting around people that are headed the same direction, like mind, like heart, building the local church, and getting around some of the best leaders out there. Gabe actually is going to be a breakout speaker in January about this subject, about how to raise up leaders,
everyone get there.
So that's going to be in January in Sacramento, and then you can also join us if you're in the UK, across Europe, in May in London. So, Kalley, thanks for doing this.
Thank you. I just want to say too, Banning, nobody gathers people, not just gathers a bunch of people in a room, but like has a vision for what's possible when we're united. And then also can see the individual, the one person in front of you. And you're just phenomenal. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Well, listen, there's no better way to end it than that. All right, guys.